Hello, this is author Michelle D Farrell, and I'm just stopping by before the show begins to let you all know that I do apologize for the late posting of the show due to a family emergency. However, I just want the authors know that I am working on your books in the order that they were received. So just hang on tight. Let's start the show. Hi, everyone. My name is author Michelle D. Farrell, the Lady of Suspense, as my readers have dubbed me. And I welcome you to the episode 2 of the Suspense Corner. Like my shirt? It's my Get a Melody, author Michelle D. Farrell. There it is, author Michelle D. Farrell. This t-shirt is available for purchase, and all proceeds go to the Spinal Bifida Foundation. I will have the link down in the description for you to get you one and show off your hashtag Get a Melody t-shirt. So today I will be discussing Can't Forget You by New York Times, USA Today, and Amazon best-selling list author Kristen Middleton. I briefly spoke to her and she let me know that this book that we're going to talk about was released as part of a fundraiser for autism awareness, and I really dug that because that is so cool and a very, very important charity. With no further ado, let's walk to the corner of suspense and talk about Can't Forget You.
Come on, walk to the corner with me. With the Lady of Suspense.
Ooh, I love the suspense.
So, this story begins with the protagonist named Nurse Sophia, and she's been divorced from her jerk of a husband for a few years, and her friend Marcy had encouraged her to start a dating site profile. Now, I've done the dating site profile thing, and it did not work for me, but who's to say it won't work for someone else? Good luck to you, but I will not do it again. So Sophia makes a profile, and she has a hot date with this local dentist. She pulls up to the restaurant that she is meeting Brian, and he's late, of course. So she goes to the bar and orders a drink. She meets the bartender and finds out that he is the owner of the restaurant, and she swooned a little bit over him. He was really cute and hot and everything. But Brian finally shows up, and then they get to their table. Of course, right out the rip, Brian shows his true character. Hey, excuse me. Hey, can you get somebody over here? Yeah, because apparently our waiter or waitress has clocked out for the night. Now, this would have been me if I was Sophia. But Sophia states. So the waitress shows up and asks for their order. Everything was going just fine before, oh boy, begins to order for Sophia, even after she said she didn't want what he was ordering for her. And she sits there and listens to him complain about the reason why he doesn't frequent the joint. And it was because of the service that he didn't like, and that's why he was being the way that he was. So Sophia, she's getting uncomfortable with this guy's behavior, but he apologizes sweetly, blaming his day on his sour mood. And Sophia relaxes just a little bit. Yet again, Sophia stays. It wasn't until Mitch comes to their table and offers to comp their meals for their weight that Sophia began to realize this dude's ways.
No, I insist.
Well, if you insist. Oh, so that explains it. What exactly does that mean? The way he was leering at you. I don't like him trying to make me look like a fool, offering me free food. This is when Sophia finally leaves. A couple of hours later, Sophia went home and Brian decides to send her a pic of what she was missing. She then deletes and blocks the jerk. The next day, she goes to the grocery store to shop and runs into Mitch. Remember the guy from the restaurant? She drools a little but plays it off as she checks him out. When she was done, she goes out to her car, and lo and behold, there's Brian blocking her from leaving. Sophia stands her ground and the fool leaves. Mitch comes out of the grocery store after witnessing Brian's behavior and offers to follow Sophia home to make sure she doesn't get followed home. After everything is all cool and Mitch leaves, here comes Brian. Time for the Lady of Suspense's top 5 characters of Can't Forget You. Number 5 is Marcy. Marcy is Sophia's best friend. She is not a significant character, and she was only there with Sophia a couple of times, so it felt as if I needed to know more about her to feel a connection. Because she is Sophia's best friend. I want to feel like I'm her best friend too, but she wasn't too involved in the storyline, but yet she, like I said, she was Sophia's best friend, so that still made her an important role. Number 4, Deputy Billings. I so wanted him to have a bigger role in the story, because when you think of thrillers and suspense novels and movies, cops are everywhere. It seemed as if his wheels were turning, and he was, helpful in finding out some information about the guy that was torturing or the guy that was stalking Sophia. But that was just about it. He just disappeared. Number 3, Patrick. Although he is crazier than a bed bug, but his motives of being a crazy bed bug isn't quite known. But he still was that not so sane person in the story, which made the story, of course, move because of the things that he was doing and just how he was. So that's why I liked him, because without him there wouldn't be a story. Number 2, Mitch. Now Mitch definitely belongs towards the top of the list, because deep inside you will find yourself rooting for this dreamy entrepreneur. You also want to read more about him and, how his dealings with Sophia, and how he wasn't, I can't say that he was that knight in shining armor, but he did rise to the occasion, and he was a good character. So that's number 2. And number 1 is Sophia. I really like Sophia, even though I wanted to jump into the book and drag her away from her date by her ear, like a mother that found her kid that was out in the street past curfew. She may be that mad. I was like, why is he sitting there so long taking all this? I would have left a long time ago. But then again, if I was Sophia and I would have left, we wouldn't have a story. So Sophia, like I said before, she handled herself quite well. She was in a situation to where, I felt helpless. I was reading it and I was like, how is she going to get out of this? But she did it. So that's why she's number 1. And that is my top 5. So all in all, I will say in a nutshell, tied in a nice shiny bow, this is a good book. It is fast moving with no slow fillers at all, which I love dearly. I like the fact that the protagonist is a strong-willed female lead, and she handled her business all by herself. Even though there is a love interest involved, she didn't need him. And I love that. And there wasn't much that I didn't like about the story, other than the dating site, bad date, psycho person storyline that we see in other books and movies that have been done before. But it did not take away from the story, as the story makes you sit on the edge of your seat, wanting to know what is going to happen next. The Lady of Suspense recommends this book.
This segment is called the Thrill Rate. On a scale of 1 through 5, I rate the thriller, suspense, and storyline to get the final thrill rate. For Can't Forget You, for thriller, I gave it a 4. Suspense, a 4.5. And the storyline, a solid 4. So overall, Can't Forget You comes up to a 4.2 out of 5.